Greetings, YouTube. I've been pretty humbled today by the outpouring of feedback regarding ways to make MCOC better. A problem is only a problem until you have a solution. And there have been a lot of tangents about a lot of different suggestions, some of which I touched on in my video that I posted today about in-game burnout. But I want to say this too. It was called in-game burnout, but burnout is just the larger tree topic. You can have somebody who's very burnt out of MCOC who is not even close to becoming uncollected. And you can have a large portion of people. One of the commenters said, Prof, I got to a point where I couldn't believe it was easier for me to 100% complete Labyrinth of Legends than it was to do 6.2 because I didn't have Captain America Infinity War. And I felt like without him, I wasn't going to be able to complete it. And of course, he has a point. If you don't have the right champions for certain nodes and certain content, and we know that the Abyss is absolutely part of that discussion. If you don't have the Horsemen, you're going to be able to do it, but you're going to have to spend so much more time and effort and money, or at least units, than the people who do. And so with well over 100 champions now in the game, and in some cases like the 4-star crystal, you got over 150, the odds of landing that specific champion are so low that you're just going to end up rage quitting. And then if you get the champion, if you don't have an awakening gem or you don't have 6 stones, and the price of those 6 stones has gone up like crazy, toilet paper is not the hottest commodity in 2020, at least not in this game. It's 6-star 6 stones. And we have detailed on this channel the crazy 300 to 400% inflation that 6-star 6-stone deals have undertaken in the past year to two, when Kabam realized that's where the real money is to be made, because Cavalier crystals have devalued how rare it is to get a 5-star, or even in some cases a 6-star champion. But to put 6 stones into them is still largely controlled by Kabam's offers, and that's why they've chosen to make those 6-stone deals not only rarer, but also way more expensive than they were like a year ago. So all that is to be said, the biggest agreement amongst so many players is we need to be able to eventually purchase Nexus crystals. Now, I will say this. This is a pipe dream as it stands right now. Kabam developers, talking to our very own Dork Lessons, confirmed in a past video that they plan on keeping Nexus crystals for major shopping opportunities. Basically, if you keep them rare, then players are more likely to throw money at Kabam for July 4th deals, spring cleaning being the latest, and even Cyber Weekend. It makes sense from a marketing standpoint, but it doesn't make any sense in terms of burnout. And so I want to just remind those of you who don't know that when there used to be a featured crystal under crystals, there used to be a featured 6-star? No, it was a featured 5-star. It was a featured 5-star crystal that had the new champion right away. And I feel like a large majority, including myself, the thing that I got most excited, and I am a hoarder, was to hoard 90,000. The by far the most views on my channel is 23 5-star crystal opening. I hoarded for over 6 months, maybe closer to a year, worth of 5-star shards back before the daily calendars got really good, back before any of this. And you had about a 20% to 25% drop rate for the new champion. Fast forward to now, these featured crystals have only a 4.2% drop rate, or 1 out of 24, or 20, 22, 24? Yeah, 1 out of 24 to get the champion. But here's the bigger issue. You don't get the new champion until this thing expires, and you can see that this featured 5-star has 53 days left on it, and the featured 6 has 25. So until then, you throw your units and your money at featured calves, which have well under a 1% drop rate, to get the new 6-star and even the new 5-star. And then at the same time, you're just hoping and praying that the new champion is actually good. And 2020 champions are normally middle-tier champions. Kabam is trying to figure out the sweet spot between champions that are going to break the game and champions that are going to need to be rebalanced because they suck. And rebalancing is such a controversial thing, understandably, because they also revealed that they didn't properly test these champions, that they're watering them down enough to where they don't have to make that mistake of releasing the next Ghost or Domino or Corvus, etc. But by doing that, unless you talk about a champion like Longshot, I guess, By doing that, you've got champions that might be kind of fun to fight with in the arena, but you're not going to be excited to rank them up. You've got Squirrel Girl, you've got Longshot, but unless you want to talk about prestige with somebody like Silver Surfer, it's mainly just kind of blah. Mojo's an amazing defender, but there's so much burnout in Alliance War right now that he's just contributing to it more than contributing to the excitement of landing him as a champion. So, in this sphere, the question becomes, where should the Nexus Crystal be and how much should it cost? Now, a Nexus Crystal, of course, is the equivalent of 3 different crystal openings at once. And so the highest price end for a 5-star Nexus Crystal, for example, is the retail price of 30,000 5-star shards. Would you hoard 30,000 5-star shards for a Nexus Crystal? That's a question that I want to pose to the community in this video. I don't know if that is going to get many people on board. 20,000 would be a big time deal. And 15,000 seems to be what so many people are suggesting, though, of course, that's the price of the featured. I think realistically, they'd have to make it at least double. They'd have to make it at least 20,000 6-star shards and 20,000 5-star shards. Though, just like the arena, where we still don't have a 6-star basic arena for whatever reason, they try to roll out the 5-star version first before the 6-star. So I would imagine if Nexus Crystals eventually came into the game, it would be in the 5-star variety, which, again, most in-game players now focused on their 6-star roster. So would a 5-star Nexus Crystal make that much of a difference to them? Probably not. But I also want to point out that because Nexus Crystals are so rare when you're not talking about deals, you look at story mode, and the only shot we've seen at this 6-star Nexus Crystal was to 100% complete everything through Act 6, which is just a crazy amount of skill and patience. So it's just crazy. It really, really is crazy that they have these things dangling in front of us that give us some control. And it's not to say every Nexus Crystal is good. I've talked about the 6-star Nexus Crystal I recently featured that had like Venompool and Kingpin and King Groot. That's not going to advance you no matter who you choose out of that. But it's still way better than the basic or the featured in terms of control over your roster. And that's where the game is really screwing over players, because you only have a handful of champions that are going to save you countless units, and some of these champions have to be awakened and high sig, that until then you're just stuck and you're burnt out and you're exhausted, and that is really just a crying shame. I mean, it really, really is. So I also want to just say before this video wraps up, because I wanted to keep it under 10 minutes, we're already going on 8 minutes, that some of the tangents in the comments have kind of made me smile today. We had this random tangent about, do Americans have accents? Are American accents even enjoyable to listen to? I think globally, nobody would say that the American accent is like listening to a British accent. If somebody in Oklahoma tried to have a British accent, or you thought they were British, but they were actually Oklahoman, chances are they'd be having a stroke. So that's not going to happen. But, it all goes back to what I said in my past video, too. I wouldn't have this channel had the people, largely Seaton, Brian Grant, Legacy. I used to watch our boy, the Analyzer, because he still is the GOAT when it comes to so many things, including editing. But Dork Lessons, Rich the Man, I could go on and on. These are people that have inspired me to have my channel, and I just always wanted to have a seat at the table. I kind of viewed them as like the popular table in high school, and I shouldn't sit at the popular table, but maybe I can come by and like high five a couple people, and then kind of sit with like the nerds, because I'm a proud nerd, YouTube. I think it's very obvious whenever I talk about data that I'm all about the numbers, even though I don't teach math. That's my brother. So anyhow, thank you for the feedback. I hope and pray that Seaton just kind of leaves his really hardcore alliance and does something casual, kind of like what Pep's done. I think he'll find the game a lot more enjoyable, and his content is so needed to the community that he would leave a space that nobody could fill. So that's my final wrap up to this video. What should the price of a Nexus Crystal cost? And should they be daily? Should you get a discount in the Black ISO store like you do for the featured 5-star Crystal? That's another question. Comment below, let me know. And as always, thanks for watching and supporting my Marvel Contest of Champions, or in this case, Marvel Casino of Champions YouTube channel. Have a great rest of your day, YouTube.